This place is deserted without a soul in sight. Endless, barren lands stretch as far as the eye can see. Peculiar plants thrive here. And sights that seem alien as if from another planet. It's a landscape sculpted by desert rains. Typically, the desert's presence and the lack of water define the conditions for survival in this place. Contrary to popular belief, here harbors a multitude of life forms adapted to this harsh environment. In the most unlikely of places, life emerges in surprising forms. Sometimes there is water here, other times dry riverbeds. Springs remain dry for most of the year. Unexpectedly, fog proves to be the most consistent source of water. For the creatures inhabiting this harsh land, even a single drop of water is crucial for survival. This is a tale of Namibia's wildness and wonders. It is home to some of the rarest life forms on Earth. A new day dawns over the Erendi Private Game Reserve. The land's inhabitants begin to awaken. They start their daily grooming rituals. Then the search for breakfast begins. Red-billed quellias flit about the branches. For birds, the wetlands of Erendi are undoubtedly Namibia's most fertile avian paradise. Chicks, just 15 days old, also join the frenetic quest for food. On this land, some of the planet's largest flocks congregate. Here, the number of feeding quellias can instantly swell to 2 million. Though much of Erendi is incredibly arid, scattered year-round water sources act as vital lifelines for numerous creatures. However, this does not mean the wetlands are an entirely safe haven. Animals approaching the water must remain ever watchful, prepared for danger at any moment. Even in the smallest pools of Erendi, crocodiles lurk. For the imposing hippos, crocodiles are not a threat. They are sensible enough not to take on an adult. Hippo calves, however, must stay close by their mother's side. A momentary lapse could prove fatal. Across Erendi's open plains, antelope and springbok search for grazing. Giraffes relish browsing the treetops. Heights inaccessible to most other animals. They lick salt deposits on the rocks to satisfy their mineral requirements. But like all creatures, they must also drink periodically to sustain life. The elephant herd appears restless, yearning for the relief of water. But the wind, swirling from every direction, seems laden with the scent of danger. Even for the planet's largest land mammals, vigilance is essential. In this unforgiving landscape, the elephant's acute sense of smell picks up the scent of a nearby waterhole. A lion has made a successful wildebeest kill. He drags his prize into the thicket to avoid attracting vultures and consequently other competitors. This kill will provide ample food for the three brothers to last them several days. The sun dips below the horizon, bringing another day, governed by the cycle of life and death, to a close in the Erendy wetlands. Far to the northeast of Erendy, the Kadam region reveals a different facet of life. In Namibia's forgotten territory, a true ends. The colossal elephants are undoubtedly the masters of this Kadam landscape. They drink here, and they bathe here too, enjoying the cool water to ease the scorching heat of the sun. As the day ends in Kadam, it's time for the hunters to take the stage. After resting all day, the lion becomes active. He first replenishes his fluids, then sets off on the hunt for prey. Although most of Namibia is desert, there are still rivers that flow year-round, each with its unique character. The Cunning River, marking the border with Angola, is one such river. The river's journey culminates at Epupa Falls. The water cascades down, crossing numerous terraces, spanning a distance of nearly 1,500 meters. Epupa, in the Herero language, signifies the billowing clouds of water spray. This river's falls only flow during a brief period each year, before gradually seeping into the rock and vanishing. The Okavango River originates in central Angola and meanders towards the Okavango Delta, nourishing vast lands along its course. During its journey, it traverses Namibia before reaching Botswana. In Namibia's Caprivi Strip, it creates seasonal floodplains. The Mahango Game Park, a vital natural refuge within this region, covers 25,000 hectares and boasts a rich variety of natural ecosystems. The river and its surrounding reed-covered wetlands are among Mahango's most spectacular sights. Buffalo and hippos are permanent residents of these wetlands. Unlike most antelope species, the red leech specifically favors wetland environments. They often share these waters with buffalo and various water birds. Vast grasslands and dense forests stretch right up to the wetland edges, although tall camelthorn acacias dominate the geography here. It must be said that the giant baobab trees scattered across Mohango always capture particular attention. As the sun climbs higher, many animals seek refuge from the heat in the shade of the forest trees. But for the cold-blooded Nile monitor lizard, this is the perfect time to begin searching for prey. The edges of the wetlands, covered with low shrubs and young trees, form open, sparse grasslands. On these sparse grasslands, food is plentiful, thus attracting a wide array of wildlife. One creature that stands out on the sparse grasslands is surely the elegant sable antelope. Although they face the risk of endangerment, in Mohango, they have found a safe haven. These light-colored animals, with their strong build and magnificent horns, are protected within this reserve. All animals on the sparse grasslands must periodically visit water sources. For many creatures, Mohango's rivers and wetlands are deep and fraught with danger. However, on some plains, waterholes persist year-round among the vegetation. Experienced matriarch elephants lead their herds to these water sources, and in doing so, pass this vital knowledge down to the next generation. Mohango's natural environment is undoubtedly captivating, but the nearby Rupara National Park is renowned for its biodiversity, hosting a high concentration of many different animals. Rupara's vegetation is dense, holding an irresistible attraction for antelope species and giraffes. This national park holds an important secret. It is a gathering place for elephants. Rupara serves as an elephant paradise in this arid region. During the rainy season, animals migrate here from neighboring Angola, Namibia, and Botswana. The riverbanks become their gathering place for socializing and life. This vast herd will remain in Rupara, continuing to enjoy nature's abundant gifts until the changing seasons deplete the water sources, leaving behind withered grasslands. This vast expanse appears empty on the surface, yet it may hide the Namib desert's most astonishing natural spectacle. This phenomenon is known as fairy circles. The only way to witness this phenomenon is by viewing the area from above. Theories about the origin of fairy circles abound, and scientists are still searching for a satisfactory explanation to clarify the formation process of this peculiar landscape. Is it competition for water among plants, or wind patterns? Or perhaps the work of subterranean termites? The mysterious origin of these circles remains an enigma. But undeniably, the enigmatic allure of the fairy circles is captivating. Fairy circles are not the only marvel in this geographic area. Here, even though water is scarce, what little exists is enough to shape and sustain this unique landscape. This is a desert, yet it still fosters resilient growth. The riverbeds here have been dry for millennia. Trace amounts of moisture from rainfall to the north still nourish this land. It is sufficient to sustain life here. All water resources here are hidden underground. However, nature bestowed a surprise upon this land that almost never receives rain. Almost every morning, fog rolls in from the deep sea into the desert's heartland, becoming a vital source of moisture for this land. Rocks might not seem the best place to take root, but these plants survive on the water droplets left in rock crevices after the nightly fog condenses. Every creature here seems to have perfectly adapted to this windswept world and the challenge of finding water. Even as the largest land mammals, elephants appear small in this vast landscape. Elephants are incredibly resilient animals, but the desert tests even them. Competition for limited food forces these giants to maintain smaller groups than their savanna counterparts. On the Puros Hills, in the dry riverbeds of these hills, there are nutritious leaves. The journey is arduous, but for survival, they are willing to make the effort. To get there, giraffes must cross these hills, walking for kilometers under the hot sun. In Puros, predators are rare for giraffes. Here, their greatest adversary is nature itself. It is early morning in the Namib Desert. Fog rolling in from the ocean, like a dreamlike white veil gently covering the land, has already enveloped the desert. As the morning sun rises, the fog gradually dissipates. This is one of the world's longest living plants. The Welwitschia plant relies on the morning fog to survive. Despite its sprawling appearance, it actually has only 2 leaves, yet can live for millennia. In this ancient desert, they are witnesses to time. Many Welwitschia here are over 1,000 years old. Looking at these bizarre plants, the trees that died 6 centuries ago, and the massive sand dunes, they make the Namib seem desolate. It might be one of the animals best adapted to desert conditions, yet even the oryx, Gemsbok, needs to find precious water sources. In the Etosha Desert, there is an oasis. Some water sources here, even when clean, never run dry. Every creature here pursues the same goal: finding water. If the oryx can find water like other creatures, the desert's most challenging moments can be overcome. The lions understand conserving energy. There's no need to waste their precious strength. They know well that thirsty herbivores will eventually appear, and so they wait patiently for their prey. The first animals to reach the water's edge seem nervous. They understand the potential risks lurking nearby, but the pressing thirst and heat are unbearable. They scan their surroundings cautiously. This waterhole will soon be crowded with survivors. But until then, safety remains uncertain. Thousands of lives gather here. Every newcomer is eager to quench their thirst. Young birds crying out in their nests keep the mother birds busy foraging on the water's surface. This jackal's opportunity is brief and precious. He too bears the responsibility of feeding his young. The birds forage with agility. To catch them, the jackal must demonstrate superior hunting skills. A single failed hunt could jeopardize the survival of his offspring. Under the Namibian heat, creatures face brutal challenges for survival. Drought alternates with occasional floods. In Namibia, this defines the delicate balance between life and death. Nature awaits the blessing of rain. Even if it's just a brief respite, it's enough to spark vitality. Even just a moment's relief. While awaiting the next rains, life continues its relentless struggle in this land, striving hard for survival. Namibia's magnificent natural world will invariably face these challenges, just as it has since time immemorial.